the Queensland Sport and Athletics Centre, so we have high performance part of the venue, and we've also got a community arm to the venue as well, so we have local sport, including soccer and athletics. High performance sport being your elite sporting bodies, elite trainers, so your Queensland Academy sport. We've also got Nissan Arena on site, you would have seen as you drove in, so that's the home of the Queensland Firebirds in the Super Netball competition and the Brisbane Bullets in the National Basketball League. So that's pretty much the venue in a nutshell. We're 32 hectares in size. We've got 9 or 10 hectares of sports fields, gardens and associated infrastructure that we maintain. We're the only venue in the Southern Hemisphere to have 2 10-lane athletics tracks. So we're on the state athletics facility here, so this is primarily used for athletics. In a normal year, we would host upwards of 200 events on here a year, widely utilised from school events, club events, right the way up to state level and national level meets on this venue. So wintergreen surface as well. We maintain this at 16 millimetres. Looking pretty good at the moment, I must say. This field's come a long way in the time I've been at the venue. We've made some really strong improvements to the venue. We've re-irrigated this field itself, all new pipework, new sprinklers, new central control system. It's a field now which we're really proud of. So I officially started December 2018. Pretty much the entire first summer was just about getting a cover of grass on this. It took a long time, a lot of resources, a lot of man hours, a lot of hand watering due to some restraints with our irrigation system. The last sort of 18 months we've had some really good improvements out here. We've been able to re-irrigate this field, which has helped phenomenally. Been able to get the field weed free with the use of pre-emergents. We don't really use any post-emergent herbicides on this field anymore. With a pretty strong integrated pest management as well as a nutrition program, the field sort of just ticks along now, and yeah, really pleased with the results. We do intensively manage our sports field pretty highly. This field is mowed between 3 to 5 times a week. It's fertilised with a liquid fertiliser on a weekly basis, a plant growth regulator during the growing season, pretty much from August right the way through till almost the end of March. And yeah, that's typically a weekly occurrence as well during that period, depending on weather obviously and some of the other stresses.
What would be your main pests that you'd get on this field?
Probably the main one is couch mite, and then in terms of disease, we do suffer from patch diseases mainly throughout the winter months, and we also have some fairy ring, brown patch throughout the warmer months as well. So this field we get a lot more disease on it than the main field, with this being a heavier soil. I don't know if that's a contributing factor or not, but we seem to get more disease prevalence out here than the main stadium.
So Matt, is this field oversown through winter?
Historically it's always been oversown as far back as I can see. My first year we did oversow, and last year we didn't because of COVID, and probably the best decision I've ever made in the industry. The field just thanked me for it, and it came out of dormancy really well. And you know, we know what we can do to this field. We can pretty much trash it, take it back to bare dirt, and we know we're going to get a full cover back in a matter of weeks.
So Matt, here we are on the QSAC Stadium. So can you detail the difference between this ground and the athletics facility next door?
The main difference is the profile, or the makeup of the profile. So this is a pure sand profile, whereas the state athletic facility is a heavier soil, so it holds onto moisture and nutrients more, whereas this one drains much more freely and obviously leaches nutrients, and we have those famous Queensland heavy afternoon storms. So we do try to manage them pretty similarly. We do have to give this a bit of extra love in those peak times. The other main difference is this has got drainage at 5 metre spacing, whereas there's no drainage in that other field, so it's reliant on surface drainage around the perimeter as well.
Is this field oversown through winter? Or?
Yeah, so this field is always oversown, just due to the amount of winter sport that we do have, mainly training. But yeah, we're always ready to go if we are going to host like a different event, whether it's a soccer game or a rugby league team's coming to town. We just need to be ready to go. So yeah, we've always got that up our sleeve.
So being an oversown field, can you talk us through your process in the lead up to oversowing?
Yeah, so obviously we're dependent on time. Obviously we're dictated to by events to a certain extent. So we just need to have some really careful planning in place. So leading into when we oversow, we will apply a really heavy amount of growth regulator and then scarify between 4 to 6 directions depending on what we're trying to achieve, and then we'll seed the field of play in 2 directions at a light rate, somewhere around that 200 to 300 kilos per hectare with ryegrass, and then you will apply our amended sand. We'll apply some various amendments in accordance with our soil tests. And then a granular fertiliser on top, and then we'll pretty much just leave the venue, leave the field of play for 7 to 10 days and just let the ryegrass come up. And then once we get that first little pop, we'll start encouraging some foliar feeding and some disease prevention as well. And then within that 2-week period, we're pretty much going to start allowing some access onto the field of play. And then within 3 to 4 weeks, we're fully back open. So the back end of the season, so August, when we start to warm up, we'll start to lower the cut height down, might get down to around 14 mil. And then we'll start to apply some different PGRs, and then we'll essentially apply a post-emergent herbicide and start scarifying that ryegrass out. And then hopefully within that 3 to 4 week preceding period after that, we'll have hopefully a full cover of couch grass back underneath.